Hello and welcome to my college basketball top 25 predictions. This is through Wednesday through Friday. I just didn't want to include it in the title because I'm lazy. Like and subscribe. If you have any video ideas, tell me in the comments. Let's get straight into it. So first, we have recently entering the rankings, Creighton at Seton Hall. Both of these teams have about the same record. Seton Hall's 15-9 with the home field, and Creighton is 15-8. So, with that knowledge, just based off a record, people would say, oh, Seton Hall would probably win this. I say definitely not. I say Creighton will win this, and if they lose this, that's just a better way to sell your season. Creighton started off the season super highly ranked, and they've taken losses to some of the best teams in the country. They lost to U of A by 2 points. They lost to Texas by 5 points. They took an upset loss to BYU, and Nebraska. And then they also lost to ASU, which was kind of weird. And then they lost to Marquette. But of course, Marquette is very, very good, as we know. They started to win after that. They lost to UConn at UConn by 9. They lost to Xavier at Xavier by 3. They beat Providence. They beat Butler. They beat the crap out of St. John's. They beat Xavier, beat Georgetown, beat Villanova, and now we are here. Creighton is a very good team, whereas Seton Hall, I don't even know who they really played. They lost to Iowa. They beat Memphis by a point. They lost to Oklahoma. They lost to Siena. I don't even know who that is. Never even heard of that school before. They got their butts kicked by Kansas. Barely beat Rutgers. That's actually a pretty good win. Lost to Xavier by 3. That's all right. They lost to Providence at Seton Hall. Again, by 4, not very bad. Lost to Marquette. Kind of got their butts kicked. Lost to Creighton, got their butts kicked, beat the crap out of Butler, beat the crap out of Georgetown, barely beat DePaul, beat UConn, but that was in UConn's tragic downfall. Lost to Marquette, got their butts kicked by Marquette at Seton Hall, beat the crap out of Butler, beat St. John's, barely beat DePaul, and now we are here. So overall, looking at these teams' records and judging based off of the actual rankings at the start of the season and the fact that they really wanted to rank Creighton again, I'm going to say that Creighton should win this. I'll make it a little bit closer. I mean, Seton Hall, after all, they have a pretty nice record in the end. I mean, they're pretty much tied in records, so I won't put them down for that. But I do believe Creighton is just going to keep moving up if they keep winning. They should. They're a fantastic basketball school. They just went on a bad losing streak for no reason. Tennessee at Vanderbilt, I'd love to call the upset. I'm not even going to talk about these records because I mean, whatever. Vanderbilt, my main reasoning for not giving them the upset was because they got their butts kicked. I think they lost by 60 to Alabama. Yeah, I know that sentence sounds crazy. They barely lost to Alabama by 12 at Vanderbilt, but then the next time they played, they lost 44 to 101. That is crazy. They lost by 57 points at Alabama, and you would be like, well, it's Alabama. Alabama's number 3. Well, Tennessee's number 6. So it's I don't really know if I want to give this to Vanderbilt with that. Although I do believe Vanderbilt is a pretty decent basketball team. That loss right there really hurts them, bad. Whereas Tennessee, however, they've struggled. I won't let go of that Colorado loss. Colorado is, I do believe they're decent, but they also take a lot of losses, and that's one of Tennessee's only losses is to a team outside of the SEC. They barely beat Auburn. They lost to Florida. So I don't know, man. This one could go either way. After all, it is a rivalry, so some crazy stuff could happen. Iowa State at West Virginia. It is so hard to predict Big 12 games because everybody in the Big 12 except for Texas Tech is good at basketball. It is just ridiculous. If you look at the Big 12 and their standings, there are only 4 teams that are not ranked, and Oklahoma State should probably get ranked if they keep winning. Look at number 5, Texas, number 11, Iowa State, number 9, Kansas, number 12, Kansas State, number 14, Baylor, number 17, TCU. And then the teams that aren't ranked are Oklahoma State, West Virginia, Oklahoma, and Texas Tech. Oklahoma and Texas Tech will probably never be ranked, whereas Oklahoma State and West Virginia probably could if they keep winning. And I don't think West Virginia is a bad team. They've got some good wins and whatnot, but this is, after all, their first time meeting this season. So it is kind of difficult to determine. You kind of like to look at the past match and see how it went, try to determine how things will go differently, but this is the first time they meet. It is at West Virginia, but I'm not too sure, so I'm going to give it to Iowa State. Although this could potentially be a West Virginia upset, although I guess you really can't call it an upset considering West Virginia is, after all, favored. But in terms of like number 11 versus unranked, yeah, there is potential for upset here. Tulsa at Houston. Dude, what is going on with Tulsa programs? They suck at everything so far. Houston should destroy this team. Houston took a pretty impressive win against Temple. I mean, remember, Temple's one of Houston's only losses. And, yeah, they just beat the crap out of them. Houston looks really good sometimes. Like, they can play basketball. So, and I mean, it's fucking Tulsa. Let's be real. Tulsa's 5-17. Georgetown at Providence, another just pooper match. Georgetown, they can't win a game. Not even a UConn. Because for whatever reason, UConn likes to lose to bad teams. Providence is a pretty good team. I mean, I watched this team from the beginning of the year. And honestly, all this, like the Big East or whatever, they're all really good basketball teams. Providence should not lose this game, and if they do, that is tough. Florida at Alabama. I don't want to disrespect Florida. I think Florida's a good program, but, dude, sometimes Alabama's just in that flow where they look like the number one team. And, yeah, they could drop a hundo if they wanted to. That's why I kind of made it more high scoring. I'm predicting that Alabama will have a good game. I mean, these two are kind of rivals in the SEC. I'm not really too sure about Florida-Alabama history. But after all, I mean, it's two big names. It's at Alabama. There should be no reason why Alabama doesn't just try to absolutely slaughter the Gators. Oklahoma at Baylor. I'm not going to give this one to Baylor because Baylor destroyed Texas Tech last week. I got that call right. So I'm going to go 2 for 2 here. And I'm going to say Baylor is going to struggle with this Oklahoma team. I will not sleep on Oklahoma. Oklahoma beat the shit out of Alabama, who is currently ranked number 3 in the country right now. And, yeah, that should say something about every Big 12 team, especially Oklahoma. I believe Baylor is good, but I believe Oklahoma can put up some real competition, and they should be careful. San Diego State, they've been struggling all year. They started off ranked pretty decently high, and then they just started losing. And looking at the records, they're pretty even in records, and Utah State's favored. I don't really know a whole lot about the Aztecs or Utah State, so I'm going to give the upset to Utah State in a relatively high-scoring game. Iowa at Purdue. This is our first Thursday game. I'd love to give this to Purdue. I'm sorry, Iowa, because I really like Iowa, and I think they're a pretty good team. But, dude, Zach Edey, or however you say his name, is just the team, man. He's so good. I mean, he's going to destroy and walk all over teams. Purdue without Zach Edey, probably not even top 10 if I'm being perfectly honest. And Iowa is going to struggle greatly with that. I do believe Iowa can put up competition, but as long as Zach Edey's on the court, they are going to struggle greatly. Especially after coming off of a loss for Purdue. You know, I don't think they want to really, especially at a home game, you know. UCLA at Oregon State, another shitter game. I say UCLA could put up a lot more points, but when the other team isn't really scoring anything, there's no point. You play drain the clock or something. But yeah, Oregon State sucks dick this year. I mean, they are bad. They're 9-15. And yeah, there's nothing really to be said here. UCLA's actually pretty good, man. 19-4. They're probably going to be 20-4. They're actually pretty good. I underestimated them. San Francisco at Gonzaga. Last time these two teams met, it was at San Francisco, and Gonzaga won by 2 points. But considering Gonzaga just lost to St. Mary, and now it's at Gonzaga, And San Francisco's a little sketchy of a team. I'd like to think highly of them, but I'm not too sure. Yeah, I'm going to give it to Gonzaga, especially because, Gonzaga's I mean, they're good. I say they're overrated, but they're still good. So I'm just a little skeptical. I'm just a little skeptical on San Francisco and how good they actually are. St. Mary's at LMU. I have no idea who LMU is. And St. Mary's, I personally think they're being disrespected by the committee, being placed only at number 15 after beating Gonzaga in overtime. And they're 21-4. And I think they're just getting a little disrespected right here. I think they should be up way higher, considering they just took down a good opponent who's number 12 at the time, I think. And their 4 losses, one of the best records in the league right now. They're in 15. It's like, all right. I'm not going to say – I said it was a little bit closer because I don't know anything about this team and I don't care to look into them, so I make it closer, but I'm giving it to St. Mary's. U of A Cal, another shitter game. Get this, guys. U of A is 21-3. Cal is 3-20. Again, nothing to be said. I say Cal will put up some points because U of A likes to do this whole thing where they go on the road and they play sketchy games. I mean, remember, at Oregon, they got their ass beat. They got their ass beat by Oregon, so I don't know, man. I think U of A might just have a pooper game or something, although U of A could just slaughter them. I didn't really look at that one too well. I kind of forgot that was even here. And this is our Friday game, the only Friday game. Xavier at Butler. Not another shitter game. Nothing to be said here. Butler's not that good. Okay, pause. I guess I said it was really close. I completely forgot what I was going to say. Maybe, I think my reasoning was because Butler has kind of been getting shit on all season. I mean, literally take it from me right there. I just automatically assumed this was going to be a devastation, but I made this yesterday, so I was just recording it today. And, yeah, I guess that was my prediction. I don't know if I fully agree with this now, but yeah, I'll leave it. Maybe it's destiny. So, yeah, that is my basketball predictions. Again, like and subscribe, comment any video ideas because I don't have any right now. I'm just doing basketball stuff. And that's all for me. Adios.